Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. How's everyone out there doing today or tonight or wherever you may be in the world? So in this video, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be talking about Leatherface The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, released in 1990, was originally supposed to be released in November of 1989, but yep, the third installment in the franchise, mostly known as the most boring Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the most forgettable, but we'll get into that in a minute. So before we get into this video, I hope you will subscribe, Abe, and ding that bell so that way you get notified every time I upload a video. Alright everyone, without further ado, let's get right into this video. So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Have you seen it? It's by far not one of the most popular. It's not as popular as the first two, or, the reboot, or anything like that, or the new Netflix one. It's not, like, hugely famous. It is known as the most forgettable one, or the most boring one in the franchise, or the least memorable one. I guess that's the most forgettable, or like the least scariest one. But whatever. This is known as that. It has all them stereotypes. I don't think it's that bad, but I'll get into that in a minute. So basically, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first one came out in 1973. Huge hit. I mean, it was considered to be disgusting and all that, but it made a lot of money. It launched Tobe Hooper's career. Tobe Hooper ended up getting a lot of movies after that, being a very successful writer and director. So years later, in the mid-'80s, Tobe Hooper signed a contract with Cannon Studios. Cannon Pictures, I believe, actually, is what it's called. Cannon Pictures said that they would give him a 4-picture deal. 3 of them movies could be whatever he wanted it to be, but that other movie, that 4th one, had to be a sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It had to be. Because he owned the rights to the original one, and he said, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. I'll take this contract. It's going to get me 3 movies, actually 4 to direct. He wasn't thrilled about it, but he directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and wrote the script and everything, made the movie, and it was, he leaned a lot more into the dark humor and dark comedy of the movie. He made it a little bit more campy and cheesy, but it was an amazing sequel. It was a hit, too, in the theaters and on video sales, because it did something totally different from the original. The original one was full of jump scare stuff. There were a few jump scares in the sequel, but the original one was, just a mass-up hit. I mean, it was just so scary. This one really leaned into the dark humor, but it was funny. You had a couple funny scenes, a couple scary scenes. It really balanced it out, and it was a really, really good movie. Just all around a 10 out of 10, a sequel. I mean, it was one of the best sequels that you could ever see to a horror movie or a movie in general, because it did something different. Well, that was Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper wanted that to be the end of it. He was not planning on working any other Leatherface's movies. Actually, at the end of the movie, Leatherface gets a chainsaw stuck in his stomach, and he goes, as it's on by Dennis Hopper, he gets hit in the head with a mallet, and then he gets blown up. So, caught on fire and blown up. So, no way of Leatherface coming back. Dead. Well, New Line Cinema, which was a big company by this time, they had basically their number one horror movie franchise, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Have you heard of it? It was starting to run to the ground. Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. By this time, it had multiple seasons on his TV show. There had been 5 movies, multiple comic books, multiple TV appearances, and Part 5 had just been released, and it made a lot of money, but not as much as the other movies did. They could tell that Freddy was going under, that they were losing money off the franchise. So they were figuring out what other horror movie franchises around that is popular enough like Freddy, but doesn't have that many sequels or anything to it that can be made. They settled on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They didn't end up being able to get it. At first they tried getting Friday the 13th. It didn't work. They ended up getting Friday the 13th years later, though. But they tried. It didn't work. Well, Cannon Studios ended up going for bankruptcy. Cannon Pictures, I should say. And they bought it. And that gave them the ownership to all the Cannon's movies, but 100% ownership of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So they started making a movie. And in January of 1988, before they had even made the movie, before they had done anything, wrote the script, cast, found a director, anything, they released a trailer, and I will show you this trailer at the end of the video. It is the most badass trailer, and it is literally the greatest movie trailer of all time. It's awesome. They made this trailer before they even had a cast or anything. Leatherface was badass in it and everything too, but so they had the rights. They were making this movie. They decided they were going to make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, problem was, they had to settle on a script. They had to settle on an idea and a script. The couple ideas floated through. one was another sequel, another one was basically a reboot, and they didn't end up getting accepted. They ended up taking David H. Choate, the guy who directed. He's not a director, but he's a writer. He read some blood. He read the Blood Splatter books, and he read, I believe, I know the corny franchise, The Evil Bong, but he had also written some Critters movies and worked on Nightmare on Elm Street. I think he might have worked on one of the Leprechaun movies. I could be wrong, but I think he did. He ended up writing the script for this. It was very serious. Um, and it was an epic script. It some parts were taken out, obviously, but it was time to pick a director for them. So they had a bunch of different directors. There were talks of Peter Jackson. There was even talks about Tim Burton. I don't know if Tim Burton makes true, but that's what I heard. And a couple other directors, Wes Craven. They couldn't get any of them. They ended up settling with Jeff Burr, was known for the Puppet Master movies, the Pumpkinhead movies, and then mainly known for the Stepfather sequel that he had directed. They brought him on to direct Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now, originally, the script that him and David H. Choate worked on, and in the beginning of the movie, actually had Sally Harvestine from the original one, had her walk into a cemetery where the Sawyer family is buried, and it had Leatherface popping out of it and killing her, and then going into his chainsaw that's in the trailer. That scene got taken out because for some reason in this movie they wanted to go as far away as they could from the first two movies, especially part two. I don't know why. The movies were hits, but I don't know why that was the goal of this movie, because it kind of feels like a reboot in a way. It does in the beginning briefly mention in the first movie, and then it also, it has a cameo from Stretch from part two. So actually Caroline Williams, but the character Stretch is actually in the movie. So it kind of nods that they existed, but it really doesn't talk about them much. The movie is not a bad movie. I've watched this movie multiple times. It's not bad. I actually think this is the scariest looking Leatherface out of them all. He's very big. He's fuff. When I say fuff, he's fat and buff, which is very intimidating. Very, very big. Very creepy looking. Yeah. He was actually stunt doubled by Kane Hodder, who played Jason, and was played by R.A. Mihailoff. Yeah, very creepy looking. Very interesting build. He's tall, buff, and fat at the same time. I mean, it was very scary. And it's a good, decent movie. It's actually Viggo Mortensen's very first movie. It's a good, decent movie. The guy from Nightmare on Elm Street, the one that played one of the cops, plays a guy named Tinker. There's a girl from Poltergeist 3 and from the other Friday the 13th movie. Like I said, it's a good, decent movie. Only thing is, it's not as iconic as the first two. Now, the first two, I think, they only had a couple $100,000 for them. This one had a few million, so it was obviously much higher budget. It was by a big studio trying to profit. So it didn't end up being a success. They didn't include the first part, the script. They cut a bunch of the script out. And then once the movie was made, it was a lot more gore. It wasn't really gory, but they had to take a lot of the gore out. And they changed the ending. The ending actually had Leatherface dead, and then it had like the little girl there and everything. It was actually supposed to be Leatherface's daughter, but it had all that. It was like supposed to be like a different ending. They ended up changing the ending without even letting the director or the writer know. They actually didn't know until they went to the theater apparently and saw it, that the ending had been changed. Because they wanted to have Leatherface still alive. It's just so different. Now, Jeff Burr, the director, said he thinks it would have been a success had the gore been left in it and had the original ending been that. He thinks that it would have been a success. I personally do think it would have been a success too. Not as successful as the first two, but I do think probably would have been a lot more successful had it had the original ending, because I've seen the original ending. It's pretty good. This movie had a lot of potential. They were trying to profit. It didn't make, as much money as they thought it was going to. Made back its budget, so that's good. It ended up resulting in the rights getting sold. New Line Cinema selling the rights, which then we ended up getting in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation. Literally one of the worst horror movies of all time. Worst movies of all time. But yeah, we ended up getting that movie, and it just wasn't good. Ugh. Yeah, just horrible. But yeah, this movie is not as good as the first two, but I will say it is better than every other, in my opinion, it is better than every other Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came after it. The other sequels that came after it, the direct sequel, the reboot, the prequel to the reboot, the prequel to the original movie, the Netflix movie, I would say it's better than all the ones that came after it. I put it in third place on the rankings, but it's a different movie. I would recommend it. It's got a very creepy tone. It could stand off as its own movie, like not even Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but they wanted to make it a part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. So yeah, I mean, not much to say about it. Unfortunately, the movie was not a hit because they were telling Jeff Burr that they wanted to make 3-4 sequels to this and a prequel. So yeah, obviously that's rough, but yeah, this movie is sad that this movie was never a hit as it should be. It's a good movie. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 Leatherface. Yeah. So as promised, I will show you the trailer. Sorry, I actually still have the trailer up for the Camp Crystal Lake reaction. Leatherface The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 trailer. Okay, that's not Leatherface, but it should pop up hopefully. I gotta redo that. Leatherface The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 trailer. It got face, but it... Oh, Lord. You know what, I don't feel like typing, so I'm just typing in 3. Serious, you're not gonna give a trailer? What? Here we go. Alright, this is the most badass trailer in all history. This is the best trailer, most entertaining trailer. It's awesome. But I didn't restart it, so
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas.
come on, you cannot say that Leatherface is not terrifying. Oh my god, that trailer is just so awesome. So awesome. Wow, it's just amazing. Wow, just so awesome. Awesome movie. I think it's a lot more, I think it's very underrated. I think it's a lot more better than what the other one is. What's Modern Trailer? You know, let's watch this real quick. Modern Trailer. What is this? All these stupid video games. Ads, or stupid ads. It's not video games, it's the ads. Like, what is up with all these damn ads? Alright, we're gonna watch this one. It's stupid.
Coming from?
LA?
Oh, screw this. No. We ain't watching that. Yeah, that's stupid. The original one's much better, the original trailer. Even though that scene is never in the movie. It would have been awesome if it would have been in the movie, but unfortunately it's not going to be in the movie. Hey, alright everyone, so that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching until the end. Yeah, really appreciate it, everyone. So, as always, the usual, like, share, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. And God bless you. Stay safe. I love you all very much. Thank you all for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.